In this webinar, we are going to make a presentation to you to explain how do you increase productivity of an agent in a BPO environment. The productivity of an employee, as we all know, is very important in increasing the revenue of an organization. In a BPO environment, it is also more essential because unproductive time leads to a non-billable scenario and a revenue loss. In this webinar that we are presenting to you now, we will see how our suite of software products helps you in increasing the productivity of an agent that will translate to higher revenue. The webinar is being presented by Alok, who is a VP of product development, and I will hand this over to him to make the presentation. All lines right now are on mute. And we will be entertaining questions from all participants throughout the webinar. So if you have any questions to ask us, please feel free to write it on the window which is on your screen, and we will address it towards the end of the session. Alok, over to you for the presentation.
Thank you, Pratish. Hi, so this is Alok. Let me begin the presentation, and like Pratish indicated, the objective of this presentation is to call out certain scenarios and show how we can improve the productivity, especially in the BPO segment, and what are the specific use cases around that particular vertical. Now, before we begin and get into the specifics, I want to call out, some of you may already know about Allen's technology, but some of you may not. So, who is Allen's technology? Allen's is basically dealing in identity and access management domain for last 13 years. We have only been dealing in this domain, and this is the only thing we do globally. We are the top 3 partners globally of IBM, Oracle, NetIQ, Microsoft CA for their security products. With our vast experience in this domain and our global experience, we saw that there are a lot of gaps. First of all these solutions from various vendors are extremely expensive and not really viable for an Indian or the fact kind of a region where acceptance of very high-end solutions is not there because of viability and commercial needs. The need is there, but it's only the viability that is causing the issue. So what we have done is we have, from a solid experience of 13 years, we have started building similar products, and now we have got identity and access management products from our own lab, our own company that helps in meeting the same kind of objectives. Now, all our products are also called out in Gartner and Forrester reports. So we are also Gartner 2012 tool vendor, if you see on my current slide. We have very prominently mentioned in a lot of Gartner reports. We are also mentioned in quite a few Forrester reports, and in fact the latest report from Gartner on cloud-based identity and access management services also calls out our name very, very prominently. So that's the brief on what is Allen's. Regarding the products and also some little data. Our featured customers. So like I indicated before, we are a global company and we have got more than 300 customers across the globe. So I have just picked a few of them that may be of relevance. And now in the BPO segment in India, we have got quite a few customers like Postro, Sarco, IG, and there are some more customers in India, Europe, APAC, and mostly in US region, and in all various kind of verticals. On this presentation, we will basically focus on some of the major scenarios and use cases, requirements of these kind of products in the BPO segment. So, just give me 1 second. I think I am getting some message from somebody. He is not able to. Alright. So, some of the major challenges in BPO industry, as you see on this current slide, is high attrition, how do you increase user productivity, how do you keep applications access secured, compliance, auditing, and various kind of reports from forensic analysis. So let me spend a few minutes on this particular thing. Now, one of the common challenges from almost all BPOs and lot of our customers in this domain that we have been hearing about is almost in all major projects, the entire team changes in maybe 12 to 18 months. If a BPO is really doing well, then maybe it will sustain the team for 18 months, and by the time they reach 18 months, the entire team changes. Or in some cases, even in 9 to 10 months, the entire team of 30, 40 people on a particular project changes. So the agent activation rate is quite high. Now, though the agents are getting the attrition is high, the agents are joining and leaving an organization. What becomes challenging is usually the companies are not able to communicate the same to the parent company, and a lot of times the user ID and passwords are shared, and that basically is a huge risk. Now, how do we address these kind of situations? I will come to that little later. In addition, now almost every BPO company that we have seen, a lot of our customers, a lot of our other prospects we are talking to have got one common situation. How do they increase user productivity? Now, although most of the companies are already working at the optimal level, but everybody strives for excellence. How do you keep improving and keep perfecting the process? So, one very common situation that some of our customers, in fact one of them happens to be our client circle with over 30,000 users, indicated they have got lot of agents who actually intentionally act as if they have forgotten their user ID and password and they cannot log in. The SLA in that particular organization is like close to 30 minutes. So as soon as an agent forgets their user ID and password, they are supposed to call a particular number, open a ticket, and then the help desk is going to call them back within 30 minutes and confirm that they have reset the password and will inform them about the new password. So that basically gives the agent 30 minutes of time to do anything besides this. So this is one simple example. Besides that, there are a lot of sensitive applications that BPO uses, and they are under strict guidance to adhere to certain compliance norms, like there should be no way the data can get compromised, security breaches, and various other kind of things. So one of our customers came with this kind of a situation almost 3 years back, and that is when we included this particular use case right into our product as an out-of-box feature. So what we have is, you can give your users a single sign-on kind of an experience where the user will click on the application link and it will sign on the user without having the user know what is the user ID and password. So you have now agents who can sign on to applications, but they would never come to know what is the user ID and password. So that kind of a solution, that kind of an intelligent solution is what we have, and that is what we would use to address security and access related issues. Now, in addition to all that, every event that is from logging perspective or from access perspective should be logged, or from password change reset perspective should be logged. So we definitely take care of compliance. We have got solutions that are globally deployed. We have very specific reports that make you compliant to Robinson, for example, or HIPAA in case of health industries, or Basel II, or various other kind of laws. Now, the reporting and auditing is not only reactive, but it is also proactive, such like it can send out alerts and all on these basis. Now, all these situations at a very high level are specific to BPO. Now, our solution, we also have very advanced use cases that we address, and those are usually meant for financial verticals and all banks, insurance firms. I'll give you a simple example just to indicate that what is the kind of depth you have. So let's say you have a HDFC or an ICICI bank account and you log in from Delhi with a particular user ID and password. The next minute, with the same user ID and password, there is a login attempt from Calcutta or Chicago. Our solution monitors the user's behavior, login patterns, and if it's fine, the same ID is being used from two different geographical locations. It is going to ask the user to have an additional verification done before it displays them their account or profile information. So then it may ask the user to answer some knowledge-based authentication system, SMS passcode may be sent to them, or various other kind of factors can be used to make sure the user is challenged and then the user is identified in a secure. So those are some very high-level examples. With that, let me move on to the next slide. Now, Islanders has got quite a few products in this space. Out of those few products, we'll only pick two products that we see are most applicable to BPO segment. One is Passport Express and other is Sign-On Express. Now, from Passport Express perspective, this particular product helps in making sure that passwords across all different applications are synchronized. It will provide users with the ability to do password reset right from their workstation app when they are logged out. So I have got kind of a screen print on my right side which has got the depiction of how the plugin of our solution may look like. So on Windows XP, if you notice, forgot password, unlock account kind of a button will show up, and on Windows 7 link will show up. So these links and buttons basically enable your agents to do password self-service activity without even calling the help desk. And they get powered to do this activity without any other need or dependency from a third-party service desk, help desk kind of a division. Not only it helps in doing the user's password self-service, but it also helps the user in synchronizing their Windows or login passwords with all different applications. So that is also an engine sitting behind our product which will help in doing synchronization of the password across all disparate systems. With that, let me move on and briefly talk about Sign-On Express. Now, Sign-On Express is our single sign-on solution. What it basically does is, for any web-based application, it can give users a single sign-on experience. So, let me give you some examples. And I'll actually, without calling out names, I'll use one of our customers' examples that we very recently did a deployment. So, we have this customer in the BPO segment. They have got approximately over 20,000 users, and they have got hundreds of divisions. Every division may have different kind of an application that they need to access. Now, marketing, let's say marketing division needs to access the marketing related applications. IT division needs to access an IT kind of an application. So, with single sign-on, we not only enable single sign-on across all applications, but it's a solution through which you can also provide authorization. So, on the basis of divisions, you can publish certain applications to only certain divisions, and that particular division, let's say marketing, will have access only to marketing related applications. IT division may have access to only IT related applications, and so on and so forth. It has various kind of options that using which one can enable users to do sign-on without even knowing the user ID and password of an application. All that is abstracted and secured behind the scenes. So these are some very popular products that we see are getting leveraged in lot of verticals, and especially in the BPO. There is lot of use cases where these products can actually help in securing
the operations turnaround time of agents or increasing their productivity, addressing the attrition issues and all that becomes very handy. At the same time, the BPO can achieve compliance and they can look at a very granular level through a graphical analytics based dashboard what is happening at the enterprise level. So it not only enhances the productivity, it also helps in achieving compliance, and all these products are not meant for like a long implementation time frames or something like that. Is not needed before they get deployed. So it's a zero-based start kind of a product. We have got a very simple installers to which we install, we onboard applications and then test it, and the users are good to go. So a lot of our customers who have got over thousands of users have used our product and have started using it in less than a day or two, and they are ready to go. Now with that, let me move on to my next slide. This is basically a high level kind of an ROI that can be derived out of our Password Express product. So we have got Password Express, Sign-On Express. I will not show ROI on both. I will just take an example from an ROI using Password Express. So here is a hypothetical situation like a BPO with 5,000 agents. Usually what we have seen in last so many years is on an average 1.5 call to help desk happens per agent, especially in the BPO segment. This is the average that not only we but is also substantiated by the Gartner or Forrester report. They also have lot of reports on password self-service, help desk solution, and the number of password related calls or sign-on related calls that help desk usually gets. So if you have 1.5 calls per agent, then for a 5,000 agent BPO, the total call volume will be 7,500 per month. What we are saying is, if you have 7,500 calls per month, you definitely need a solid help desk team that can work 24/7, can manually do research and all. So instead, with Password Express, you automate that entire thing. You empower the users to do password self-service activities themselves. So usually the customer list that we shared initially during the presentation, we have seen the call volume reduces as much as by 90% in some cases after the Password Express deployment. So one example I called out initially where in a particular BPO users were intentionally acting to as if they have forgotten their user ID and password. It was a drastic change where the call volume reduced in less than a month to almost 90%. So these are the kind of benefits one can get in ROI. Now from cost perspective also, it is extremely competitive, and basically the thumb rule that we have is the entire ROI gets derived in almost less than 3 months, including the total cost of ownership of the product. Now, moving on to the next slide, I'll give a brief case study on Quattro. We are again a very esteemed BPO company. They have approximately 3,500 users based out of Gurgaon, Delhi. And in the BPO event, actually we had someone from Quattro, a very senior IT person from Quattro, who came along and spoke with us during the event how they are getting benefited with our solution. So Quattro is a classic example. They looked at our product, we did a demo to them, and they were having a lot of issues around the volume of password-based calls that were happening to IT, which were tons per day, and especially after the holiday or after the long weekend on Monday morning or Monday afternoons, it used to be terrible. And they had a lot of productivity-related issues, especially in those kind of situations. So we did a Password Express rollout for them, and in almost a couple of days, the call volume reduced significantly, and in less than 1 month, it reduced to an extent that one can actually say it's less than 2, 3, 4 per day versus how it was tens per day. Now, SLA also, the helpers, if anyone used to call helpers, the SLA was like 25 minutes, one had to wait on phone in the queue to get their turn, reduced from 25 minutes to just 2-3 minutes, because now the helpers has got more time, the same team can be more productive and can focus their time on certain other areas that actually need more attention rather than just doing mundane activities such as password resets for end users or agents. In fact, Quattro has been very happy with us, and we have a success story and various other collaterals that we are jointly working on with them. And not only them, we have got similar success stories that I gave in India. Then we have got Gujarat with energy vertical, and we have got Serco with more than 30,000 users in BPO vertical. So we have a bunch of our customers who are very high in numbers from event perspective and are leveraging our products just to make sure they increase and improve the user's productivity from not only password management perspective but also from single sign-on perspective and making the application secure. Now, during the BPO event that happened in Delhi last month, we rolled out an offer where we indicated for someone uses or wants to use Password Express for 100 agents, will give it free, and there will be significant discount because of the participation in the event, and we will give all different kind of application connectors for password synchronization free. This offer is valid till 30th June, and I think there are over a dozen customers that have already enrolled in this in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and we have helped them for doing some kind of a deployment for 100 users, and then we are taking it forward from there. Now, I just want to spend another 3-4 minutes in giving you some glimpses on Password Express and Sign-On Express on how the user looks like, so that you actually see something in a tangible way. I am not going to do a full-fledged demo or anything during this call. I am just going to show you some screen prints of both Password Express and Sign-On Express over the next few minutes. So these are Password Express screen prints, and all our solutions are BYOD compliant. That is another thing. You can access them from mobile, tablets. They are well optimized for that. And we have got very solid graphical dashboard interfaces for various analytical purposes. It's going to get over in few. Now, we have got hundreds of connectors for doing password synchronization like you see on the screen. And the BYOD thing is something that is loved by a lot of our customers. They just like this feature because now they are not restricted to do password management or single sign-on only from their regular desktops and browsers, but they can actually use their smartphones if one happens to have something like that. Though we know that in BPO, in a lot of places, the smartphones and phones with cameras and all that is not allowed, but this is a feature that can be leveraged in some cases and situations. Similarly, this is a screen print of our Sign-On Express product. It's the dashboard from where the applications can get launched and single sign-on can happen. It's not necessary that one has to use the launcher, but we can get into the details on a separate call if you are interested and want to take this forward. We have got this admin screen where we have got a bunch of applications in various verticals like security, ERP, collaboration. So I'm not going to too much of details right now, but just to let you know, we have got over 1,600 single sign-on application connectors available out of the box along with the product. And that list is growing, and we are targeting to have almost 3,000 connectors by end of quarter 3 this financial year. And not only that, if you happen to have any application that is homegrown or custom as a part of this deployment, we can also do that single sign-on to an application for which we may not have it connected out of the box.
again, this also is BYOD compliant. With that, I want to take a pause. I want to stop at this point of time.